Okay, what is up, and welcome back to another Midweek Magic live stream. Hope you guys are all doing well this week. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna leave my headset on because we're going to be watching some gameplay of a games night that I did with a group of mates last week, where we played a couple games of Magic, and kind of just going to give you a rundown of kind of how I played, why I played certain things, when I played certain things for specific reasons, and then kind of how my opponents responded. So I don't have particularly clear video footage of my opponents' kind of mats or board state. Unfortunately, it is just mine. So yeah, we're going to have to make do. But I will try and, as they mention what they played, kind of just explain to you what they played and why and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well this evening, that your week is going well. And yeah, I think let's get to it. So I'm going to swap to that. So,
Yeah.
what, are you playing Oma? Yes.
Yeah, you
Cool.
said to play dishwashing liquid.
Yeah.
Oma. Dishwashing liquid, his name's Oma.
Hey! Is everything shiny?
Yeah.
Is it
Okay. This is a pre-con.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
I'm gonna mute that for now, and just double check. I know that there is a way for only me to be able to advanced audio properties. Not what I'm looking for. Pretty sure there's a way to have it where only I am able to hear the audio. Okay, no, it's fine. I'll leave it. That is the wrong thing. I need to pause that for now. Okay, let's go back. Cool. I think I've got the interface down, and I think we are all good. Sick. So, it still bugs me that I can't listen to... How did I manage to do it for the intro music? Give me a second, I just want to double check something. I'm just going to swap back to that. Properties. Okay, no. Okay, so I can't figure out exactly how that particular file is set up, but it's all good. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that muted, and we'll have to work through it in silence, possibly. No, it's not a filter. It's not in properties. How did I manage to do this the other day? Settings. Wait, I've got it. Okay, so there, and that should mean that, okay, and if I check here, 1 2 1 2 1 Is audio good? Yes, we are all good in the hood. Sick. Okay, cool. So in case you're wondering why I'm looking down this side, it's because I have my stream set up that side. Drop that volume, and okay, I think I've got the setup right. That took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but we are all good. So what I'm going to do is on this camera here, I'm going to have the cards that I played so you have a better view of what they are, and as I play them, I'll hold them up to the camera just so that you can kind of see them a little bit better. And then on the screen, that side, the right hand side, I will have the gameplay of kind of what everyone's doing. I don't know. No, okay. So that's as good as I'm gonna get that. Unless I make this a little bit bigger, like so. And move that up like that. Okay, and then I've got a bit of space here to show you guys what is going on. Awesome. Okay. So let us get going with this. The reason why I've got the video playback muted, I can also see that camera is there. Cool. The reason why I've got that audio muted is because there's a lot going on. There's two games happening in the same space simultaneously, and so it's just kind of sensory overload, and I don't want you guys to be listening to me and then have that happening. So for simplicity's sake, we'll just have stuff playing. So you can see here in the video, currently we just cut each other's decks. So when you're playing with other people, even in a friendly game, it's just to kind of make sure that nobody's cheating. My hair is doing funky things. To make sure that nobody's cheating, and I'm about to show you guys my hand. If you give me a second. So I'll show the camera in a moment. There we go. Okay, so you'll see the land that I have at the front there is this Phyrexian land. Really cool artwork. I would like to get a whole lot more of these, but one, they're a little difficult to find, and two, they're more expensive than most lands. And then I've got two basic planes. These are the old style from Urza's Saga. I like these because they actually have the text for tap and add 1 white mana to your mana pool. Up next we have a Palladium Myr. So that's the middle card in my hand there on the right. And then other way around, Caged Sun. So Palladium Myr is a creature, an artifact creature. It's a 2/2. I can tap it for mana as well. Costs 3. And so these are what we call mana dorks. Basically, it's a small creature that's able to tap for mana. And then we have a Caged Sun, so quite an expensive mana cost up there. But as it enters the battlefield, you choose a color, and creatures of that color get +1/+1. Whenever a land's ability causes you to add 1 or more mana of the chosen color, add 1 additional mana of that color. So basically, that allows you to tap mana or tap lands for double mana, and it makes your creatures stronger if they're a particular color. And because this deck is a mono white deck, you name one color, all of the creatures in this deck get that buff. Okay, up next we have Mother of Runes, relatively cheap creature, so 1 white, she's a 1/1, and her ability is target creature you control gains protection from a color of your choice until end of turn. So she's able to protect your creatures. And then we have Artisan of Kozilek. He's an Eldrazi, so the Eldrazi are kind of big, scary eldritch beings. He's not one of the Eldrazi Titans, but he is a relatively formidable creature. 9 mana cost for a 10/9, and when you cast him, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you'll actually see I use that ability in this game. And then he has Annihilator 2. So every time you attack with him, the person that you are attacking has to then sacrifice 2 permanents. So those could be creatures, artifacts, enchantments, lands, planeswalkers, sagas, anything that's not an instant or a sorcery. Okay. If while I'm going through this at any point you have any questions, comments, queries, whatever it might be, drop them into chat. I do have chat open on my screen in front of me, and so I will try and explain stuff as I go through. And yeah, even if it's not necessarily pertaining to what's going on screen at the moment, I'm happy to kind of break off and just answer questions as needed. I really don't mind. So that is my hand to start off the game, and so you'll see from the title of the video that I'm playing Elesh Norn, okay, Grand Cenobite. So she is a 4/7 for 7 mana cost, so 5 of any color, 2 white. You can see up there. She is a Praetor. I love the Phyrexian Praetors. They are visually stunning, and their lore is really cool. She has Vigilance, so she doesn't tap to attack. It's one of those one-word abilities. If you need to know more about those, go take a look at... I believe it was my second intro to Magic the Gathering. And her second ability, other creatures you control get +2/+2, and creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. So it makes your creatures stronger, your opponent's creatures weaker, and I really enjoy playing with Elesh Norn. Okay, cool. So you can kind of see we're chatting a little bit at the start of the game there, just kind of getting ready to start. I think I'm just busy answering a message on my phone there. But just to give you a bit of background on what the other guys are playing. So the guy to my left, so at the top of the screen, just next to my playmat there, his name's Cade, and he plays some very scary decks. This one in particular, volume's a bit low. Okay, mic volume, because let's see what I can do here. How's that? Is that a bit better? Okay, wait, I can actually probably swing my mic a little bit closer to my mouth, and hopefully that'll help with volume levels. I have also upped the volume in my overlay. Okay, just a bit. Okay. Much better? Great. Glad to hear it. Cool. Just making sure that the base of my mic isn't on screen. Just rather have cards. Sick. Cool. Glad we managed to get that sorted. Okay, cool. So I can close that. And yeah, so just carrying on. The deck that Cade is playing is Omo. I'm trying to remember the name of the actual card, the full name. We just call her Washing Powder. Queen of Vesuva. Okay, it's a precon deck from the recent Modern Horizons 3 set. He bought... Hey Lee! Oh, hey Shahir. Also didn't notice your message in chat there. And hey Bob. Welcome. Thanks everyone for showing up. So, yeah, Cade bought the collector's edition of the precon of Omo. And she is scary. When the deck pops off, it's actually kind of terrifying. It's a very well constructed precon, so if you're looking for a good deck to start with, and you don't want to have to offset a large amount of money to build your own, you could look at going with a precon. And yeah, those ones from Modern Horizons were really good. The decks from I'm just going to pause the playback quickly just so I can give a bit more background once I'm finished explaining here. So the ones from Commander Masters as well, also some really good precons. Although that being said, a lot of the precons, so precons are pre-constructed decks that are released as official decks by Wizards of the Coast. And the last few releases, their decks have actually been pretty decently powered in comparison to what they've done in the past. So there is a lot of power creep we're seeing in precons. So, I mean, over time they're trying to make things flashier and seem more appealing. So they're upping the power of creatures, throwing in some really overpowered cards into the precon decks that synergize really well. And so they're good to play straight out of the box. And they don't require as much modification as what they used to. So, yeah, Cade is playing that precon Omo. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the Cthulhu playmat there. That is Bob. Hi, Bob. You're in chat. He was playing Rakdos. So it's a black-red deck. And Rakdos, the theme is pretty much chaos. So you'll see at one point there's some coin flipping to determine whether or not stuff dies. So it's really kind of luck of the draw, random number generator kind of vibes. It's a really fun deck, and he's built it really well. So shout out Bob for another great deck that's a lot of fun to play against. So yeah, just a rundown of kind of the start of what happened in this game. I don't recall who started. I think Cade started. Let me go back a little bit. Just jump through the footage. Okay, so Bob started. He played an artifact of some sorts that looks like some sort of amulet. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'll definitely get better camera angles the next time I record. So, okay, it looks like he just cracked that to do whatever. I'm guessing to pull a land. And yeah, so then it was my turn. My first turn, I played the planes, the Phyrexian planes that I had in my hand, and then dropped the 1 mana cost Mother of Runes, just so that I had something out quickly. Can use it as a blocker if I need to. And yeah, then Cade's turn, played, looks like an island, may have been another land of some sort. But yeah, plays a land, nothing else. Goes back to Bob, he cracks the amulet, gets a land off of that, plays another land for turn. You can see we cut his deck there as well. As I mentioned, it's kind of just a safety mechanic to make sure that people aren't cheating. Even in casual games, it's just kind of something that you do out of respect. Your opponents can opt to not, but that's up to them. So you can see I dropped another land, another plains, and then that looks like an Urza's land. So if you have 3 Urza's lands out, then you end up tapping in Urza's land for 3 mana instead of just 1. So Cade played something. I'm just looking. So he played 2 lands there, so I'm guessing something's in his graveyard, so he may have sacked something. And then I see Bob on the right hand side there flipping coins already, which is always kind of scary. Oh, it was heads or tails to determine who gets Zancha. Fun times. Yeah, so Zancha is a creature that you can play, and when you play it, you give it to one of your opponents, and it can only attack another opponent. It can't attack the person that played it. So at this point, and then over there, I've just played a Ghostly Prison, so I obviously drew that, and that is basically what we call a stacks card. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 mana for each creature attacking you. So it's designed to kind of control the game a little bit. And yeah, so going back to Zancha, so has to attack every turn, can't attack the person that played it, obviously can't attack the person who's controlling it, and because we're playing a pod with yes, I know, Paul, stacks is not fun. For the people that you're playing against, at least. I love playing stacks. It's wonderful. Actually, I seem to recall you're playing right next to us, and there were 2 stacks cards that you played in your deck, even though at the start of the evening you said no stacks will be allowed in your house. Just I seem to recall something along those lines. So, saying stacks, sis, get that out, chat. Okay, so honest mistake, sure, buddy. Learn your deck a little bit better. So Paul was playing a pre-con, really fun one that came out. When did your one come out? It was a couple sets back, if not like what 2 years ago. It basically the concept of his deck. So he's not playing in the game that we're playing in. He's playing a separate game next to us, and he is playing a Planeswalker deck. So themed around different Planeswalkers. So this is kind of what they look like. For those of you that missed the first intro to Magic stream that I did a couple of weeks back, and introduced card types. So you can slowly see kind of how the board states are changing a little bit. You can see Cade's board state there at the top of the screen popping off a little. He looks like he's got a Soul Ring out. He's got more lands, and he has his commander out. So let me just pause here quickly. And I just want to read to you what Omo does. Actually, I might be able to just do this. Give me a second. There. Save image as. Desktop. Save. And drag that across to here. And then drop it in. Boom. That was quick. Cool. So yeah, this is the commander that Cade was playing. So you can see it's a 3 mana cost, so 2 of any color, and then 1 either green or blue, so you get to choose there. And it's a 1/5 Shapeshifter Noble, and she does, whenever Omo, Queen of Vesuva, enters the battlefield or attacks, put an everything counter on each of up to 1 target land and up to 1 target creature. So he was basically putting these everything counters on his lands predominantly to basically turn them into Urza lands, so that they could then tap for 3 instead of 1 each. So he used this for mana ramping, and yeah, it was a great mechanic to kind of speed up his play. And as you can see, each land with an everything counter on it is every land type in addition to its other types. So he can tap for any color. And if he was playing Maze's End from Dragon's Maze back in the day, basically all of his lands would have been guild gates or gates, and he could have then won off of having 10 lands out. So yeah, that ability is a little OP in my opinion, but yeah, like I said, there's a bit of power creep in recent decks, precons in particular. And then each non-land creature with an everything counter on it is every creature type. So any buffs for a particular creature type, you're getting those buffs for all of your creatures. So yeah, do I want to remove that? Yes, I do. Cool. So that is what he's playing there. And let me actually pull a picture of Bob's commander. It was the showstopper. Where's Scraffle? There. Save image. Save. And boom. There we go. Okay. So that is the commander that Bob was playing. Rakdos, the showstopper. So you can see there, it's a legendary creature demon, 6 mana cost, converted mana cost, so 4 of any color, 1 black, 1 red, and he is a 6/6 with flying and trample. And then the main ability, which is the scary part, is when Rakdos, the showstopper, enters the battlefield, flip a coin for each creature that isn't a demon, devil, or imp. So it was a bit of a pain because with Omo out, all of Cade's creatures with an everything counter on it became all creature types. So they were a demon, a devil, and an imp, which means that none of his stuff got targeted pretty much. And then the second half of that ability is destroy each creature whose coin comes up tails. So yeah, not a fun commander to play against in the sense that it's scary, but a fun commander to play against in the sense that it's quite random. So kind of mixed feelings there, but personally I do enjoy playing against it because, like I said earlier, Bob has structured that deck really well and made it a very fun experience. A lot of group interaction, fun for everyone, and it is also built in such a way that it can kill him and not just other players. And how many times have you killed yourself with that deck now, Bob? What, like 3 or 4 more? Okay, let us hit play again and carry on. So you can see I've got Zancha out there still, and I've just dropped the Palladium Mer, or Platinum Mer? Palladium Mer, yeah, I was right. 3 times, I think. Okay, yeah, so I was right, about 3 times. So Palladium Mer, from my opening hand, just played a Mana Dork, just to try and add to a little bit of mana ramp there on my side of the field. And yeah, Bob's got, what, 1 creature out there, looks like. Oh no, that wasn't a creature, that was an enchantment, and it was making us do horrible things. If I can't remember exactly what. Okay, and then in the background I can hear some guys talking about Warhammer 40k, so something I really want to get into. For those of you that don't know what Warhammer is, it's a tabletop game with involving miniatures, and you build up an army. Everlasting Torment, thanks Bob, that was what it was. I'm glad you remember what you played. Yeah, like I said at the start, I'm definitely going to try and have a couple more camera angles next time, just so that we can see everybody's field. I did record another game a while back, which I'm busy editing into a produced video, so that yeah, it's gonna have pictures of all the cards so that you can see what they do. And then see kind of everyone's gameplay. So I've got 2 cameras on that, one on either side of the table. And yeah, if I just pull up what Everlasting Torment does, just to give you an idea. Everlasting Torment MTG. Ah yes, players can't gain life. Now I've moved that to that screen and it's gone smaller. Players can't gain life, damage can't be prevented, all damage is dealt as though its source had wither. So yeah, makes creatures smaller, you can't gain life, you can't prevent damage. It's not a fun time. Okay, so taking a look to see how the board state's changed. Cade's just hit Bob for 1 damage, given a land and a creature and everything token. So the land is now all land types, the creature is all creature types. If we skip through a little bit more, you can see Cade's board state changing more. Mine, not so much. Let's skip another 2 minutes. Okay, there we go. So Zancha's still out. I've managed to get the Caged Sun into play. Bob has that is a Torpor Orb. So basically that disables any abilities that are into the battlefield abilities for creatures. So yeah, I think we ended up getting rid of that pretty quickly. Yeah, okay, so Zancha swung at Cade. And yeah, my board state hasn't changed much there. If we skip a little bit further. Okay. Cade has just hit Bob with his commander, so his commander's a 1/5, Omo. And a valid point he makes is that if he kills Bob with Omo, then he's playing that deck wrong. At the same time, he did admit at the start of the game that he wasn't 100% sure exactly how it plays. He hasn't quite figured out the exact mechanics for the deck. He knows that it does some fun stuff, and it can get very complex. But yeah, it's he's still trying to figure out the specifics of the deck. And he just played a board wipe. Okay, we were just busy discussing the different types of counters on his cards. So he has a blast zone out, which has a blast counter on it. He has some lands with everything counters, so it got a little bit confusing there. And yeah, he basically just gave himself no maximum hand size until the end of the game. And no, that wasn't the board wipe. He plays a board wipe a little bit later. Oh, that was okay. That one, he put his hand into graveyard. No, exiled his graveyard. I can't remember exactly what it does, but he basically just drew a whole bunch more cards. Skip through a little bit more. What did he play there? Okay, so he played something that was supposed to gain him life. He doesn't. There were some things that I had to sacrifice there. So, Bob on the right-hand side there played a Fraying Omnipotence. So we had to sacrifice some permanents. And so I ended up sacrificing the Zancha that Bob had given me so I could stop attacking Cade with it. And then my Mother of Runes, I do believe, was the other thing. I didn't want to sacrifice my Palladium Myr just because that's part of the mana ramp that I had. And so it was my way of making sure that I had enough mana to play the other stuff. I was working towards getting my Elesh Norn out. Elesh Norn, fairly expensive, 7 mana cost. So yeah, I was working towards that. And you can see here I'm counting how much land I have. Oh, because I had the Caged Sun out. my white lands tapped for 2 because I'd named white when I played the Caged Sun. And now I get to play Elesh Norn. So all my creatures, all my white creatures got +1/+1, so Elesh Norn was slightly stronger. And all other creatures other than Elesh Norn got +2/+2 off of her. And creatures other than that my opponents controlled got -2/-2, so their creatures all got weaker there. And then I played just looking around to find the card. Creatures. I do believe that was Knight of the White Orchid. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it wasn't a Grand Abolisher. There, Knight of the White Orchid. Yes, that's the artwork. So there it is. 2 mana cost for a 2/2. Has first strike, and when it enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than me, I may search my library for a Plains card, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. Unfortunately, because Torpor Orb was out, I didn't get that ETB effect. But I did play it because it then turns into a 5/5 with first strike because of Caged Sun and Elesh Norn. So yeah, it was just to kind of get something a little bit stronger out. And yeah, you can see some of Cade's stuff died off there. So his Omo is dead. Okay, Cade starts playing some stuff there. You can see Bob on the right-hand side there playing with his coin because he's definitely getting ready to play Rakdos. Okay, Cade's going through the 8 million cards in his hand. Remember, he still has no maximum hand size. And there we go. Okay, Bob's turn. Yes. I saw some land move that side. Yeah, there. Bob's busy playing. So tap 4 for a. That is one of the Theros gods, I believe. Is it Porphyros? It's the red-black one. No, it's not Porphyros. Xenagos, maybe. Mogus, that's the one. God of Slaughter. Okay, so here's fun ability. If this allows me to actually read the card. So he's a 7/5 for 4 mana cost, indestructible, and as long as your devotion to black and red is less than 7, Mogus isn't a creature. And at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, Mogus deals 2 damage to that player unless he or she sacrifices a creature. So basically, Bob was trying to get us to sack our creatures, and if we didn't, then we slowly got drained of life. Okay, and I see that I just played something on Elesh Norn. I believe it was a ring. Was it? Ring of Thune, I do believe. Okay, so play. Oh, okay. So, let me just pause there. So you can see I've played the Artisan of Kozilek, which allows me to bring something back from the graveyard. My best option there was to bring back the Mother of Runes that I'd sacrificed earlier, to try and give stuff protection if I needed to. And then just next to that, to the left of that, I played a Ring of Thune. And it's an equipment, so I can attach it to a creature. and equipped creature has vigilance, so I do attach it. You'll see I attach it to Elesh Norn. So even though she has vigilance, she now has double vigilance, if that was a thing. And at the beginning of my upkeep, so at the start of each of my turns, I get to put a +1/+1 counter on the creature that this is equipped to if it is white. So because she is a white creature, that makes her stronger every turn. And you can see now I'm attacking with the Knight of the White Orchid, with Elesh Norn. Palladium Myr I tapped for 2 mana to play the ring, and I used 1 floating from there to just looking here. Okay, so I attacked Bob, and he ended up blocking some stuff there, and at this point we've already managed to get rid of that Torpor Orb. And I then passed my turn and it's gone to Cade. So let's just carry on skipping through. Cade does some complicated, scary shit. Attacks Bob with some more commander damage, so Omo is back out on the field. And at this point, you can then see there Rakdos is out and Bob is starting to flip coins. Okay, yeah, so there we go. I've just gone back a little bit. So Bob taps the mana required to play Rakdos. And I was actually relatively safe here. And you'll see why in a moment. But yeah, so he starts going around the board. Obviously, all my stuff is neither devil, demon, or an imp. So he's starting to flip the coin. So Palladium Myr has been hit and blown up. The Knight is still alive. Elesh Norn is still alive. Mother of Runes is still alive. And the Artisan of Kozilek is still alive. So I escaped pretty unscathed there. So luck was kind of on my side. But you'll see a little bit later why that doesn't actually really matter some of the time. It can still twist very quickly. Okay, so we're establishing here that some of Cade's stuff has everything tokens on it. So there's one creature there that doesn't get hit, and we're now keeping track of Hydras. So Cade played something that made a bunch of Hydras, and you can see there I'm keeping track of the coin flips. So he had 10 Hydras out, and half survived and half died. So those didn't have the counters on them. The everything counters at least. Okay, so for the most part, that thinned out only Cade's board state, really. My board state, he hit one creature. Cade's board state took the hardest hammering there, which at this point in the game, I mean, if you look at how many lands Cade has out there, it's ridiculous. The mana ramp is real. He had like, I'd say, maybe a quarter of his deck in his hand at that point. So had a bunch of stuff to be able to play, and was just kind of getting scarier and scarier. So, yeah, I was attacking Bob still, just because Cade, because he had so many Hydras out, it was very difficult to clear a path. So over there, I've just played, I believe that is an increasing devotion. Yeah, there. Increasing devotion. You can see kind of middle right-hand side there next to the Knight of the White Orchid. And so that allows me to put 5 1/1 white human creature tokens onto the battlefield. However, at some point previously, I had discarded this and put it into the graveyard, and I'm playing it for its flashback cost. So it is 9 mana, so 7 of any color and 2 white to be able to play it, which is a little steep. But yeah, if you take a look at the second half of the ability, if Increasing Devotion was cast from your graveyard, put 10 of those tokens onto the battlefield instead. So I ended up getting 10 1/1 white human creature tokens because I still had the Caged Sun out. Because they were white, they got an additional +1/+1, so they pushed them up to 2 2s. Because I had Elesh Norn out, they got an additional +2/+2, so I ended up with 10 4/4 white human creature tokens out on the battlefield. So you'll see I'm moving around here on the left hand side of the screen because I'm trying to find the tokens that I needed, the human creature tokens. Okay, we can skip through a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so my herd has been thinned out. Okay, so if we go back a little bit, there we go. You can see I'm setting up those tokens, so they are 4/4s. That's why I've put a dice with 4 on it on top of those, and the dice in front of that is displaying how many of those I have. So there's 10 of them. So that's just keeping track of what I've got on my board currently. And then if we skip through a little bit. At this point, you can see my hand waving around. I'm busy justifying why I'm attacking Bob. Because I'm listing off that Mogus has made me lose life. Torpor Orb has disabled my ETB abilities. Oh, and then I said he played Zansha and gave it to me, so forced me to attack Cade. So I was basically just trying to justify the fact that Bob needed to be attacked because there was no way that I was going to be getting through Cade's Hydras. In hindsight, I should have attacked Cade. Cade. I'm trying to think what Cade had that was making him scared. His Hydras was still slightly stronger than the soldiers that I just created, so I didn't have any justification for it. Even if I'd attacked with my Artisan of Kozilek, that Annihilator 2 ability, he would have had to sacrifice 2 permanents, but at this point he would have just sacrificed lands, the ones that didn't have everything counters on them, because the ones that did have everything counters on them were all tapping for 3. And you can see Bob there losing a bunch of life, so he drops down to 9. At this point, Cade is on, 28, I think, and I'm on 34. So as it stands, I'm the biggest threat at this point on the table. I've just wiped out a bunch of Bob's stuff. Yeah, I've got a bunch of big scaries out, and you can see Cade slowly going through his hand there in the top left-hand corner. Okay. skip through a little bit. I do believe he... No, he didn't play a farewell. I think it's coming though. Okay, so he played something that cascades 4 times. So again, it's one of those one-word abilities that I spoke about in my second Introduction to Magic the Gathering stream from, I think it's about 3 weeks ago now. If you haven't watched it, go give it a watch, where I explain all of these like one-word abilities like Trample, Haste, Vigilance, First Strike, Double Strike, and one of them is Cascade. Now what Cascade does is you can then you reveal cards from the top of your deck until you hit a spell of some quality. Let me just actually make sure that I am giving you the correct definition here. When you cast this spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card whose mana value is less than this spell's mana value. So whatever the mana value of that card that he just played was, he's now exiling from the top of his library until he reveals 4, because it had cascade 4 times, 4 non-land cards whose mana value is less than whatever that is, and you may cast that card without paying its mana cost if the resulting spell's mana value is less than this spell's mana value. Then put all cards exiled this way that weren't cast on the bottom of your library. So you exile until you've revealed 4 cards that aren't lands that have mana value less than what you've just played, and then you can play those 4 cards for free. And the rest of the cards that you've exiled go to the bottom of your library in a random order. So yeah, he's basically just managed to get 4 spells for free right here. Oh, okay, so he paid 10 for it, which means that anything with a mana value less than 10, he can play for free. Which I do believe... he just played Generous Gift, which destroy target creature. That player then creates a 3/3 elephant. Yeah, that's the elephant. Just trying to listen to what happens here now. Okay, so he's just blown up my Artisan of Kozilek as well. I think he just beast within that. So similar to Generous Gift, it turns it into... he was originally going to blow up the Artisan of Kozilek, but whatever he just played, it's non-creature permanent, so he can't destroy the creature permanent. We were just arguing there whether he should destroy Mogus, but Mogus is currently not a creature, but it is indestructible. So instead he just blew up my Caged Sun and my Ghostly Prison. Where is... Yeah, so Ghostly Prison, so it's now cheaper for people to attack me, so I don't have that as a barricade. And the other one was the Caged Sun, so I no longer have those buffs on my creatures, and I don't tap for double mana at this point. So very sad there. Okay, yeah, so Cade has thinned out my board state a little bit. And his is looking a little bit scary. Bob's playing some stuff. Okay, so they've managed to get rid of all of my tokens. I've still got the Artisan of Kozilek out, the Mother of Runes still out, the Ring of Thune, and the Knight of the White Orchid. So, well, starting at the top, it's Mother of Runes, Ring of Thune, Knight of the White Orchid, and then Artisan of Kozilek. And I'm sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a Phantom General. So it's another white creature, 4 mana cost, for a 2/3, and creature tokens you control get +1/+1. So that's what I've just played there. Bob's board state still looking a little sad at this point. Still sitting on 9 life, so holding off somehow. And I've just passed my turn there. Okay, Cage just lost the 2 life off of Mogus there, so he's dropped down to 26, I think it is. And if we skip through a little more, I do believe the game is about to end quite dramatically. Okay. I vaguely recall what happens here. So Cade is tapping a bunch of mana. He's tapping all of his mana. He's currently sitting basically all of his taps for 40. Tapped for 52. He mills me twice for 49. I think I stopped recording here because I got knocked out. But yeah, so Cade ends up milling me twice for 49. So that's 98. Obviously, 100 cards in a commander deck. That's more than enough to mill me to death. So if you cannot draw another card from your deck, you automatically lose. And then he just swung a 10-10 at Bob. Bob just played a Darkness to negate that. And then it passes to Bob's turn. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's the end of that. So Bob, remind me, did you end up somehow managing to pull that back, or I'm pretty sure Cade won that based off of his board state and your board state. I don't think you dropped a board wipe at that point. No, Cade won it, didn't he? Yeah, okay, cool. Thought so. Yeah, so that's just to show you guys that yes, those precons that they're starting to release are pretty powerful. And just kind of give you guys an idea. Yeah, he attacked with everything. I figured as much. He had a lot of kind of stuff out at that point, and it was enough to swing with everything, which just kind of overrun. And Bob was sitting on 9 life at that point, so yeah, not much else he could do. But yeah, it just kind of shows you how everyone interacted with one another. So I know in that first introduction to Magic stream that I did, what's it, 4 weeks now? 4 weeks ago, I did at the end do a little bit of a demo on kind of how a turn and everything, a game would kind of play out. But this gives you a better idea of how players interact with one another, and all of that kind of stuff. It also shows you a little bit of my play style to a degree. Shows you how scary Bob's decks can be and how scary those precons can also be at this point in time. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Happy to field any questions if anyone's got any, if anyone's sitting in chat that wants to ask anything. So this deck that I played is my mono white Elesh Norn Stacks deck. So Stacks is designed for an element of control, and to basically control the game in your favor, and very heavily restrict how much your opponents can do at any given time. And yeah, I really enjoy it. Paul not so much, but yeah, that's the fun about being able to build decks, is you can pretty much build whatever. So yeah, that is the Elesh Norn deck. I think I've mentioned before, so I'm currently sitting on about 15 different decks. I've got Elesh Norn, so I'm sitting with my 3 out of the 5 mono-colored decks currently. So Elesh Norn as mono white, Turgrid God of Fright as mono black, Telrund Sky Summoner as mono blue, and then I'm building a mono green with Gelta Primal Conqueror, I think it's called. It's one of the Geltas. Wait, it's in the file here. Let me pull it out the file quickly. If I do this, there we go. Okay, swing that out the way, swing that out the way, and I don't really know how well this is going to work. Yeah, that's not working very well, so I'm just going to rotate that way. Cool. Yeah, so we've got Gelta, Primal Hunger. Primal Storm is Itali. And then we've got Duretti Scrapped Savant. So those are going to be my mono green and mono red commanders. I'm thinking of changing Duretti into Krenko, which I don't think is currently in here. I've actually got it in a deck box, pretty much already with a bunch of the cards that I'm needing for the deck. And then, so those are all the mono decks. So I'm still building those to the mono red and mono green. Those are going to take a little bit of work. What else do I have? 2 color decks. I've got a black-green spider deck, which still needs a bit of work. I've got a red-green Infect deck with Itali. So the spider is using Shelob, one of the new Lord of the Rings cards from last year, as the commander. Itali, Primal Conqueror, and Primal Sickness. It's a double-sided card, so a really fun commander there. But it turns into a big scary dinosaur with Infect. That is my red-green deck, or one of my 2 red-green decks. I've also got a red-green landfall deck with Omnath. It's the Angry Jelly Bean. Omnath Locus of Rage, which basically it's built around landfall, so every time you play a land, your creatures do funky things. That one I want to rebuild. I've got some interesting thoughts for what I'm going to do there. And I'm actually just going to swap back to that camera. There we go. And busy building a blue-black deck with Venza. Venza Corpse Puppet as the commander there. So that's a work in progress at the moment. What other 2-color decks do I have? I have a green-white populate deck. So basically it's about making creature tokens and then duplicating them to building up like a massive army of tokens. And that deck is kind of in pieces at the moment. I need to reassemble it, and there's some stuff I need to get to finish upgrading it so that it works exactly the way that I want. Currently, the commander in that deck is Imara, Soul of the Accord. So whenever it becomes tapped, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. But I want to change it to Reese the Redeemed, which is a 1-mana cost commander, and does some funky things with creating elf tokens. And so yeah, I want to build the green-white populate deck around that. What other decks am I running at the moment? I think that's all for the 2-color decks. 3-color, I have a fully proxied deck, which I just put together to test out. And that is a black, blue, green. Yeah, using Tussigur the Golden Fang. And I haven't quite figured out what I'm doing with that deck. I'm still not 100% sure exactly what I'm aiming for from the play style of it. So we'll need to give that a little bit of time and thought, and put in a bit of effort into getting that working properly. Might actually dismantle it and build something else. And then my green, black, white Infect deck is Excel Scion of Atraxa, and basically the concept of the deck is to give your opponents poison counters, and your creatures, a lot of them have corrupted, so they do things for every opponent that you have that has 3 poison counters. So the commander itself, she ends up allowing you to steal cards from other people's decks as soon as you give them 3 poison counters. So yeah, the aim of that is kind of infect and give players as much poison counters as possible. And I think actually I might try out a different play style with that the next time I play. I'm thinking of something a little more fun, which I'll try out. And what other 3-color decks do I have? Currently I have an extra 3-color deck which I built for Aaliyah, who I don't know if she's still in chat. but it's a black dragon deck with Skithiryx as the commander. Skithiryx has Infect, so deals damage as poison counters. So yeah, that's another mono color deck. It's mono black, but it's not technically mine. And I've got 2 5-color decks, both of which are sliver decks. So the sliver precon from Commander Masters, and then the other is a sliver deck that I've built. So they're 5-color decks. They use all 5 mana colors, and slivers basically buff each other. The commander is Sliver Hive Lord for the 1, and Sliver Grave Mother for the precon, although I prefer to swap Sliver Hive Lord as the commander for the precon, just because I like the way that Sliver Hive Lord works as opposed to Grave Mother. And then, oh, of course, my Lord of the Rings deck. I have Sauron, Lord of the Rings, who is the commander. So it's a precon from the Lord of the Rings set that came out last year. And yeah, basically he tries to build a big orc army, is the concept of that deck. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, one of my other 2-color decks. I'm running a red-black vampire deck that's built around siphoning life and aiming to get out an infinite combo where every time an opponent loses life, you gain life, and then every time you gain life, an opponent loses life. And so you just kind of bounce life backwards and forwards over and over and over again until all your opponents are drained of life and you're sitting on like 160 life-ish, thereabouts. So that's the theme of that deck. I really enjoy that one. That one's probably one of my favorites to play. And yeah, I think those are all the decks that I've got currently. There's a lot more in progress. So I'm wanting to build what's known as the 32. So essentially, they're the 32 different possible color combinations. Although, that being said, it's now technically 33, because if you go fully colorless, so not with like a commander that's generic, but actually colorless, like an Eldrazi, like the new Eldrazi, the one that just came out. And yeah, essentially because all of the creatures are devoid, so they don't actually have a color. So technically there's 33 different decks that you possible combinations of colors that you could build. So it's the 5 mono colors, and then the combination of dual colors. So white blue, blue black, black red, red green, green white, blue red, blue green, white red, white black, and I already said blue red, already said blue green, blue black I've already done. Blue, white I mentioned first. Which one am I missing? I've done Simic, Orzhov, Rakdos, yes, of course. No, I said black red. I said red black. I've got most of them on my screen at the moment. So blue white, so Azorius, blue black Demir, red black Rakdos, red green Gruul, green white Selesnya, blue red Izzet, green blue Simic, Golgari. Yes, green black. That was the one I was missing. There we go. Okay, so yeah, there's those 10 that I'm still building. So the green black, which is currently my Shelob spider deck, is going to eventually become something different. Aiming for my main Golgari deck to build Lathril Blade of the Elves. So that's going to be an elf deck. Green white I already mentioned. Actually, I can take this down now and go through all of the different ones that I'm aiming to build. Okay, so if we take a look here. Okay, so we've got the 5 monocolors, and then obviously a colorless deck with artifact creature, so Khan Legacy Reforged as the commander there, and then an actual devoid deck, so proper colorless, with completely devoid of colors. I want to build one of those as well, and that'll obviously have to be Eldrazi, because Eldrazi are the only ones with devoid that I'm aware of. And then Golgari, which is currently Shelob, is going to become Lathril. Orzhov, I'm wanting to build. There was a new version of Sorin that came out recently, Sorin of House Markov. I'm wanting to build something around him. My Gruul deck is currently Atali, but you could also argue that I've got Omnath, Locus of Rage as my landfall deck there, so I've got 2 in the Gruul space, but the main one for the 33 that I'm wanting to do is Itali, which I've built. Rakdos is Anya, Maid of Dishonor, so that's my vampire deck. For Izzet, wait, no, I missed a couple. Azorius, I'm doing Urza, Lord Protector, so that's blue-white. Simic, which is green-blue, I'm doing Volo, Guide to Monsters. So he's from the Dungeons and Dragons set that came out a little while ago. Who's next? Okay, so I mentioned Demir, that's blue-black, so that'll be their Venza, Corpse Puppet. It's going to be another toxic infect deck. Fun times. Then Niv Mizzet, Peyron, so that'll be blue-red. I think I've got all of the other versions of Niv Mizzet currently, but I just don't have Peyron. Yeah, so I've got Niv Mizzet Supreme. So I suppose I could make it... I can't make it a 5-color deck, because it specifically has to be Izzet, which is blue-red. So I won't throw Niv Mizzet Supreme in there because he's 5 colors. I will throw in Niv Mizzet Draco Genius and Niv Mizzet the Firemind. Those 2 I will throw in, but the main one I'm still needing is Niv Mizzet Peyron, which I believe James was playing at your place, Paul. Was Peyron the version of Niv Mizzet that James was playing? I seem to recall that it was, because I think that I think he has that, which is the only one I'm still needing. Yeah, okay. Then for Boros, I'm doing Pia Nalar, Console of Revival. So that's going to be built around making Thopters, a massive army of Thopters, and then swinging with all of them. Naya is Minsk, Beloved Ranger. So that's red, green, white. Bant, which is green, white, blue, is Catilda and Lyre. So whenever you cast a human spell, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. So basically turning everything into having flashback. So you can just keep playing stuff from your graveyard, or returning stuff from your graveyard as for a second time. Then for Esper, that's going to be Zur the Enchanter, which I'm building around Post Malone's version of that deck, which is so Wizards of the Coast. Did you consider building the Ravnica decks around the guild leaders? I have considered doing that, and down the line I would like to have one for each of the guild leaders. So I'd like to have Tristani and Rakdos and Niv Mizzet, Borborygmos. Yeah, I'd like to have all of them, but my main focus is building ones with archetypes that I feel I would enjoy playing. So I've already got... so I have net decked some of these builds already, and kind of got an idea of what direction I'm wanting to head with them. So I've got an idea of the play style that the deck is going to have, and I'm then going to modify it with some slightly better stuff, better land base, some mana rocks that it might not already have, stuff like that. Some better creatures that have come out since the deck was originally posted, all that kind of stuff. So Esper is dun, dun, dun. So that's, yeah, I thought so. White, blue, black. So yeah, I'll be building Zur the Enchanter, but modified version of it. As I was saying, Post Malone received a exclusive version of Zur the Enchanter from Wizards of the Coast as a birthday present, and it is called Post the Enchanter, after Post Malone. So yeah, I'm going to structure the deck around what he's built, which could be pretty fun, I think. And then what's next on the list? So that was Esper. Grixis, so that's blue, black, red. That is my Sauron deck, Lord of the Rings. Jund will be Kresh the Blood-Braided. So that's black, red, green. So yeah, Kresh the Blood-Braided there. And then blue, green, red, which is Temur, will be me the Immortal. And there's a specific reason why I'm wanting to build me. And I don't mean that in like I want to build me. The card's name is Me the Immortal. I'll show you why in a second if I can find her. There. Save image as. Save. And... So, take a look at this and tell me if you can recognize who that might possibly be. So this is from the... Why has it done that? There we go. Is that right? Yes, that is right. Cool. So this is from the Doctor Who set. So this is based off of a Doctor Who character. And yeah, for those of you that can't recognize her, that is Maisie Williams. It was her character in Doctor Who. And yeah, from Game of Thrones, I fell in love with her character. And so yeah, I'm just kind of drawn to the card. And yeah, so that's why I'm doing that one. Abzan is black, green. Yes, she did knife the Night King in the back. Correct. Which I did find... ignoring all of the characters' story arcs from Season 8, because Season 8 was trash, there's a lot of really good, solid, well-written characters. And the character of Arya Stark is one of those. So her journey to become one of the Faceless Men through the House of Black and White, traveling Westeros, her time with the Hound. She's just got a really good storyline. So, yeah, I really like Maisie Williams as an actress because of that. And so then decided when I saw the card that was kind of what I was going to go for. I would also like to build one around the 10th Doctor and the 11th Doctor. So those are Matt Smith and David Tennant, I do believe. I'm pretty sure those are... I'm not a very big Doctor Who fan, but I am a fan of them as actors. So 10th Doctor is David Tennant, and 11th Doctor should be Matt Smith. Is Matt Smith? Yes, yeah, okay, cool. So I was right. So I'd like to build decks around them as well, but again, that's down the line. I've already got 33 that I'm wanting to build. Okay, so we did Abzan. Jeskai is... what's that? Red, blue, white? I do believe. Am I right? Red, blue, white. Yes, I am. That will be Nostro, Voice of the Crags. So that's a commander that I don't have yet. Sultai is Tasagur, the one that I've just built. It's structured as a CEDH, so a competitive EDH deck. But like I said, I haven't quite figured out its playstyle and what the point of it is. I'm really struggling to make it work. So I think I'm going to dismantle it and rebuild it around something else. I'm going to look for some ideas online and see kind of what I can come up with, what some other people are building, what are they doing, that kind of stuff. And then we have Mardu, which is black, white, red. And that is the commander for that will be Alicia, who smiles at death. So yeah, that's going to be pretty fun. And then we move on to the 4-color decks, which are based around... I might have actually put them in this file because I don't think I had my other one with me. It's not there. I must have had the other one with me. So they're based around the Nephilim. I just found some cards that I put aside. Actually, I don't need my headphones on. I don't know why I've still got them on. I'm not watching the video anymore. So we can stick that there. I just found some cards that are needing to go into decks. And one of them is a Torpor Orb that I just randomly have. So I can actually show you guys. So that is Torpor Orb. That was the scary card that Bob played. And my camera's not focusing. Come on. So creatures, okay. It's a little blurry there, but creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. Dun, 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 dun. Where are my Nephilim cards? Ah, there. Okay, cool. So, yeah. Glint is blue, black, red, green. And that is based off of Glint Eye Nephilim. Am I going to have to swap back there? Okay, I'm just going to hold the camera. Other way, rotate it that way. Cool. Actually, I can put this back in the file now that I've got the camera to hold. Oh, the video started playing again. Stop. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so Glint Eye Nephilim, blue, black, red, green. Dune Brood Nephilim, black, red, green, white. Ink Treader Nephilim, red, green, white, blue. Witchmaw Nephilim, green, white, blue, black. And there's one more, I do believe, that I don't have yet. Your Tiller is the last one that I don't have, and that's white, blue, black, red. Yeah, white, blue, black, red. So that's the last one that I'm needing. So the commanders that I'm doing for those, Glint, which is the blue, black, red, green, will be Yidris, Maelstrom Wielder. Dune, black, red, green, white is Saskia, the Unyielding. Ink, that's the Ink Treader. I actually have the commander for that. I'm building Omnath, Locus of Creation. I love that artwork. And then, so that's going to be a landfall deck as well. So that's why I'm going to rebuild the Angry Jellybean deck that I've got and build that as Omnath instead. So that'll, the red-green deck will no longer be one of the Gruul decks that I'm playing. So that's Ink. Witchmaw will be Atraxa Praetor's Voice. Which actually I must double check with James which version of Atraxa he's playing. I think he's playing the other one. I must double check that with him. And then the Your Tiller, which is white, blue, black, red, will be Breya Ethereum Shaper. And then my 5-color deck is, so I'm disregarding the pre-con sliver deck. My 5-color deck will be the one that I built. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm building at the moment, or the plans that I have to build. Yeah, I don't know what else to mention. Like I said, any questions, anything you want to chat about, drop a message in chat. If you're watching this back after the stream, you're welcome to Atraxa Grand Unifier. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's the one that he's built. Yeah. So Grand Unifier is the one that gets you a whole bunch of other cards. So it's got Flying and Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each card type, you may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So that's Grand Unifier. And Praetor's voice is... also Flying Death Touch, Lifelink and Vigilance, and at the beginning of your end step, Proliferate. So, gents from my playgroup, you have another Infect deck to look forward to. So if anyone has managed to pick up a pattern, I really like Infect. It's really fun to play. I'm just looking at some of the alternate arts, the altar cards online. There's some really cool ones. Actually, I want to show you guys this one. Damn, okay, so I'm gonna actually have to screenshot that. Boom. Save. Drag that across there. Nope, not that. There we go. So, I really like this altar art. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'll be building for Traxxer, which is it's going to be fun. I promise you guys, I'm gonna make it fun. I don't know, somehow turn that into a group hug deck. Make everybody enjoy playing against it. But yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions or anything afterwards, and you're watching this back, please feel free to drop questions, comments, criticisms into the chat below, or the comments below rather. And if you are not yet subbed to the channel, please do. Aiming to hit at the very least 200 subs by the end of the year, which is not going to be easy. So I'm currently sitting on 133? 133 subs. So yeah, if you guys can help share the channel, so we can find new subscribers, new people that enjoy my content, and yeah, on that point, if you do enjoy my content, please don't forget to hit the like button down below as well. That helps with, you know, the algorithms and all those things. But otherwise, I think that's it for today. I will be back with another stream on Friday again. So my weekly Assassin's Creed stream is still busy with Brotherhood, so we'll be carrying on with Ezio's storyline there. And next week Wednesday I'll have another midweek Magic stream, hopefully with another game with better camera angles, so you can kind of see everybody kind of playing and how they interact. Might be able to do a watch party for that one, so actually have the video playing and just do commentary, so like you can actually hear everybody's conversation in the video, rather than me just kind of narrating what's happening. Yeah, those are kind of the... I don't think I'll be streaming on Sunday. I do need to check and see. So I have finally managed to whoever just hit the subscribe button, I appreciate you. I've just seen my sub count has gone up to 134. So thank you. And actually, let's do something quickly. I have an idea. Switch to that account. So when I started streaming, I think it was in my second stream, YouTube Studio, I thanked all of the subscribers that I had accumulated over time. And I feel like it's time to thank everyone again, to all the new people that have joined. I mean, in the last month alone, I've gained 5 subscribers. So, yeah, I just want to say I appreciate the support, guys. And it really does mean a lot. So, let me just see. If I can find where all of this data is stored. So I can only thank you, obviously, if you have made your channel public. There we go. Okay. Last 90 days, lifetime. And date subscribed. Okay, so unfortunately, some of you guys haven't made your profiles public, so I can only thank the ones that are public. So Nulco, Jennifer, Cabello, I think I thanked last time. Nikki, I thanked last time. Okay, so the rest I have thanked previously, but regardless, to all the new subscribers in the last, let's check those analytics. What's it, the last 90 days? Gone up by 12 subscribers. So yeah, thanks guys. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm working towards the 200 subscriber mark by the end of the year, but at the very least by end of next year I'd like to hit that 500 subscriber mark and hopefully start monetizing my channel. If I hit that before then that'll be great, and I would really appreciate it. But for now we're keeping things practical, so we'll aim for that 200 subscriber mark first. And so yeah, if you guys could help me hit that by sharing, this is my request, my humble request to you guys to please do, if you're able to, share to people that you think might enjoy my content. But yeah, I think that's it from me today. I will catch you guys on the next stream on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Stay safe out there and have fun. Cheers, everyone.